Watch live and archived games. Read about the teams and players. Relive the big moments. Every season, the TribLive High School Sports Network is your home for high school sports. The best seat in the house is on TribHSSN.
Welcome, everybody. Whoa, a little off-centered there. It's the first of three WPIAL fall bracket reveals. It's the WPIAL soccer playoff pairing show here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. I'm Don Rebel. We thank you for joining us. We apologize for the delay. Everything's always out of our control. Chris Lackner is our producer. The great Bob Orkwis will be joining me shortly to break down the brackets, which are officially out and which we will go over right now. We'll start in boys 4A. Almost said quad A. Whoop. Defending champion Fox Chapel, they do get a first round bye, but they are not the number one seed. The number one seed in a 12-team tournament where there are 4 first round byes belongs to the Peters Township Indians. Peters Township winners of Section 2, a record of 12-0-1. The number 2 seed is last year's winner, Fox Chapel, champions of Section 3 with a 13-1 overall record. Number 3 seed is the Plum Mustangs, the Section 1 champions, 14-2-2, and Seneca Valley, the lone runner-up, gets the number 4 seed and a first-round bye, the Raiders, 14-2. 4 first-round matchups in round 1 in boys 4A. These matches are on Tuesday, October 21st. The number 8 seed is the North Allegheny Tigers, third-place team out of Section 3. They will be taking on the Central Catholic Vikings, the number 3 team out of Section 1 at North Allegheny High School on Tuesday at 8 p.m. The winner of Central Catholic North Allegheny, we're familiar with that from the football playoffs, aren't we? They will get top seed Peters Township in the quarterfinals, which will be on Saturday, October 25th. The 5th seed, the Kenna McMillan Big Macs, the number 2 seed, the second-place team, I guess I should say, out of Section 2. They are the 5th seed, and they will be taking on the Hempfield Spartans, the 4th-place team from Section 1, at Big Mac Stadium in Canonsburg, Tuesday at 6:30. That's Tuesday, the 21st. The winner of Kenna McMillan Hempfield will play Seneca Valley. The number 7 seed is the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, third-place team out of Section 2. They will be facing the Pine Richland Rams, the number 4 team out of Section 3. It's Pine Richland at Mount Lebanon on Tuesday at 6:30. The winner moving on to play Fox Chapel. Finally, in 4A first-round boys, the number 11 seed Woodland Hills, the Wolverines, the 4th-place team out of Section 2, will visit the number 6 seed Norwin Knights, the number 2 team out of Section 1. Woodland Hills at Norwin. That's an 8 o'clock start on Tuesday, the 21st. The winner moves on to play Plum. All right, boys 3A. It is a 17-team tournament. That means there is 1 preliminary round game. That preliminary round game for the 16th seed pits the Ringgold Rams against the Bell Vernon Leopards. Bell Vernon finished in 4th place in Section 3 of Class 3A. Ringgold, the 4th place team out of Section 2. They will meet at Bell Vernon at the beach on Thursday at 6:30. That's tomorrow, Thursday, October 16th at 6:30. Ringgold at Bell Vernon. The winner becomes the 16th seed and will take on the number 1 seed, the Hampton Talbots. Hampton with a record of 14-2-2. They were winners of Section 1 this past season. That game is this upcoming Saturday, October 18th, 12:30 at Hampton High School in the 16 versus 1 matchup. Number 9 seed, the Latrobe Wildcats. They will be taking on the West Allegheny Indians, the number 8 seed. That game is at West A on Saturday, October 18th at 2 p.m. The number 13th seed is the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. They just clinched yesterday with their victory over Albert Gallatin. The Mustangs will visit the Moon Tigers, last year's champions in Class 3A. That game is at 3 o'clock start at Moon High School. 13 Laurel Highlands at number 4 Moon. Number 12 seed is the Shaler Titans. They are on the road Saturday afternoon to take on the 5 seed Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. That's a 12:30 start at TJ. Continuing on the other side of the bracket, the number 2 seed, the Bethel Park Blackhawks, champions of Section 2. They will host the 15th seed Knock Knights on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. The 10th seed is the Penn Trafford Warriors. They will visit the 7th seed Mars Fighting Planets Saturday, high noon at Mars High School. 14th seed, the Montour Spartans on the road to visit the number 3 seed, the Franklin Regional Panthers, the champions of Section 3 in Class 3A. That matchup in Murraysville is at 1 p.m. And finally, the 11th seed Trinity Hillers up the road, up 79, to visit the 6th seed Chartiers Valley Colts Saturday, 12:30 at Chartiers Valley. Let's go to boys Class 2A. Running down the brackets here. We'll bring Bob Orkwis in later, and we will break each bracket down, each of the 8 brackets, 4 boys and 4 girls. So more coming up. If you've already heard where you're playing, stay tuned for what Robert thinks of the matchups and possibly future matchups. Number 1 seed, 2-time defending champions, the South Park Eagles. On Monday night, 6:30, they will host the 16th seed Southmoreland Scotties. What a fall they are having. Their football team's undefeated. Pretty good soccer team, too, into the postseason. They're going to have their hands full, though, visiting South Park Monday at 6:30. Number 9 seed, the Beaver Bobcats, visit the number 8 seed Charleroi Cougars on Monday at Charleroi at 6:30. 13th seed is the McGuffey Highlanders. They will visit the number 4 seed Avonworth Antelope. Speaking of having great falls, Avonworth, the number 4 seed, will host that matchup Monday at 6:30. The 12th seed is the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. On the road, they visit the Mount Pleasant Vikings on Monday at 6:30. Mount Pleasant, the number 5 seed. Other side of the bracket, the 2 seed is the Quaker Valley Quakers. They are home at Chuck Knox Stadium to face the 15th seed Highlands Golden Rams. That is on Monday at 6:30. 7th seed is Seton LaSalle. They will battle the 10th seed Bulldogs of Shadyside Academy. That game at Dormont Stadium at 8 p.m. on Monday evening. Before that game at Dormont Stadium, Monday at 6 p.m., it's 14th seed York taking on number 3 North Catholic. Again, that's a 6 p.m. start at Dormont Stadium. 6th seed, the Deer Lakes Lancers, are home Monday night to host the Central Valley Warriors, the number 11 seed, Monday 6:30 for that 11 versus 6 matchup in Class 2A. And finally, in Class A, again, like 2A, a full 16-team playoff field. The number 1 seed is the 2-time defending champs, the Bentworth Bearcats. They will be taking on the 16th seed Brentwood Spartans on Saturday. These first-round matchups in Class A are on Saturday. 2 p.m., that game is at Peters Township High School. The 9th seed Eden Christian Academy Warriors against the 8th seed Beth Center Bulldogs, Saturday at noon at West Allegheny High School. The 4th seed Beaver County Christian, the Eagles, will go up against the 13th seed Chartiers Houston Buccaneers, Saturday, 10 a.m. Breakfast at Peters Township High School, or Peters Township Middle School to be specific now. 10 a.m. for Beaver County Christian and Chartiers Houston. Somebody bring the donuts. 12th seed, the Neshannock Lancers, will take on the Springdale Dynamos. That is also a Saturday morning start, not as early, 11 a.m. at Springdale High School, so a home game for the Dynamos. 2 seed are the Chargers of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. They will be taking on the 15th seed Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions, Saturday, 1 o'clock at Moon High School. 10th seed Trinity Christian Academy Falcons against the 7th seed Sewickley Academy Panthers. Battle of the Academies, Saturday, 11 a.m. at Moon High School, preceding the Greensburg Central Catholic Osh matchup. The 14th seed, the Sarah Catholic Eagles, take on the 3rd seed, the Winchester Thurston Bears. That game at Springdale High School, Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And finally, the 11th seed Riverview Raiders against the 6th seed Aquinas Academy Crusaders, Saturday at noon at Peters Township High School. So there you have a rundown of the boys' tournaments. Let's switch over to the girls. Again, we'll break down the boys and the girls with Bobby O coming up in a matter of moments. We'll start in 4A, same as boys, 12 teams, so there are 4 first-round buys. Defending champion Peters Township gets one of those buys. The Indians are the number 1 seed, both in boys and girls soccer, 4A soccer this season. Seneca Valley is the number 2 seed. Norwin, the number 3 seed. And Pine Richland is the number 4 seed. Norwin, champions of Section 1. Peters Township, winners of Section 2. Seneca Valley, 3. And Pine Richland, the runners-up in Section 3, get a first-round bye. The 4 first-round matches in girls 4A soccer are on Monday, October 20th, beginning with the 9th seed Latrobe Wildcats taking on the 8th seed Cannon McMillan Big Macs at Big Mac Stadium Monday at 6:30 in Cannonsburg. The winner of Latrobe, Cannon McMillan, will go on to play Peters Township in the quarterfinals on Thursday, October 23rd. And by the way, those 4 teams with buys will all be hosting those quarterfinal games. The 12th seed, the Armstrong Riverhawks, will take on the 5th seed North Allegheny Tigers Monday, 6:30 for that first-round matchup, with the winner moving on to play Pine Richland. The 7th seed, the Upper St. Clair Panthers. They are home in round 1 to host the Penn Trafford Warriors. That's the 10-7 game at USC Monday at 6:30. The winner advances to play Seneca Valley. And finally, the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils are the 6th seed. They will host the Butler Golden Tornado on Monday at 6:30 at Mount Lebanon. The winner moving on to play the Norwin Knights. Let's go to 3A girls soccer. The number 1 seed is the Fox Chapel Foxes. This is a full 16-team tournament, so no first-round buys. Fox Chapel is the top seed. They will host the 16th seed Laurel Highlands Mustangs Monday, October 20th, 6:30 at Fox Chapel High School. 8th seed, the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. They get a home game. They will be hosting the 9th seed West Allegheny Indians Monday, October 20th at 6:30. The 13th seed is the Chartiers Valley Colts. On the road, they will take on the 4th seed Plum Mustangs at Plum High School Monday, October 20th at 6:30. And finally, on the left side of the bracket, the 5th seed Mars Fighting Planets. Home in round 1, they will be welcoming the 12th seed Kiski Area Cavaliers Monday at 6:30. Bottom of the bracket, the two-time defending champion South Fayette Lions are the number 2 seed. They will be taking on the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, the 15th seed, Monday 6:30 at South Fayette. 10th seed is the Hampton Talbots. They travel to face number 7 Montour at Montour High School. Spartans and Talbots Monday at 6:30. 14th seed Oakland Catholic travels to Moon. Tigers are the number 3 seed. That game is Monday at 6:30. And finally, the 6th seed, the Franklin Regional Panthers, will host the number 11 seed Shaler Titans Monday at 6:30. Let's go to girls Class 2A. The number 1 seed is the South Park Eagles. They, in a full 16-team tournament, will be hosting the Yacht Cougars, the number 16th seed, Tuesday night for these first-round matches, October 21st, 6:30 at South Park High School. The 9-8 game, 9th seed, the Bell Vernon Leopards, 8th seed, the Burrell Buccaneers, Tuesday, 6:30 at Burrell High School. The 13th seed is the Avonworth Antelopes. They are on the road, and kind of a long road trek as well, to take on the 4th seed Mount Pleasant Vikings, Tuesday, 6:30 at Mount Pleasant High School. 12th seed Shady Side Academy, Bulldogs on the road at number 5 Deer Lakes, Tuesday, 8 o'clock at Deer Lakes High School. Bottom of the bracket, the number 2 seed is the Freeport Yellow Jackets. They will be home to the Ringgold Rams on Tuesday, 6:30 at Freeport High School. 7th seed, the North Catholic Trojans, will take on the 10th seed Beaver Bobcats. That matchup is being played at Deer Lakes High School on Tuesday at 6 p.m. 3rd seed is the Quaker Valley Quakers. They are the defending champions, and they will be home to the 14th seed Squaws of Southmoreland High School Tuesday, October 21st at 6 p.m. for Southmoreland Quaker Valley. And finally, the 6th seed Central Valley Warriors are home. They will be hosting the 11th seed Keystone Oaks Golden Eagles Tuesday, October 21st at 8 p.m. And finally, girls Class A, it's a 17-team playing field, so there will be one preliminary round game. If you want to go old school, pigtail game. It's for the 16th seed, the Ellis School, taking on Greensburg Central Catholic. Those two teams tied with for 4th place in Section 4, so they will meet for a 3rd time split in the regular season, the Tigers and the Centurions. The game is Thursday, that's tomorrow, October 16th at 6:30 at the Ellis School. Winner of that becomes the 16th seed and gets the honor to take on the Sewickley Academy Panthers. They are the number 1 seed, Tuesday, October 21st, 8 o'clock at Quaker Valley High School for the 16-versus-1 game in girls Class A. Number 9 seed, the Carlinton Cougars. They will be taking on the number 8 seed Warriors of Eden Christian Academy, Tuesday, 6 o'clock at North Allegheny High School. 4th seed, the Springdale Dynamos, will be home as they host number 13 Chartiers Houston, Tuesday, 6 o'clock at Springdale High School. The 12th seed, the Riverview Raiders, they will be taking on the Riverside Panthers on Tuesday, 6 o'clock, that match at Central Valley High School. Bottom of the bracket, the number 2 seed, the Bentworth Bearcats, they will be taking on the 15th seed Freedom Bulldogs, Tuesday, 6 o'clock at Peters Township High School for the Dogs and the Cats. 10th seed Chargers of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart against Aquinas Academy, the number 7th seed, Tuesday, 8 o'clock at Springdale High School. The 14th seed, the Bronzeville Falcons, will take on the number 3 seed Seton LaSalle Rebels, Tuesday, 8 o'clock at Peters Township High School. And finally, the 6th seed Winchester Thurston. The Bears against the 11th seed Waynesburg Central Raiders, Tuesday, 6 o'clock at Norwin High School. I will take a long sip. And when we return, Bobby O in the house. He'll break it down like no one else can. It's the 2025 WPIAL Soccer Playoff Pairing Show on the TribLive High School Sports Network.
This is Miles. He needs PT. Jess needs training. And Max needs both. And while they're all athletic, at AHN Sports Medicine, we know they each need a little something different to hit their goals. Our doctors and specialists pinpoint that difference and make a personalized plan to improve Miles's backswing and Max's throwing arm and Jess's form. Because at AHN Sports Medicine, we see you.
The Rebel Yell podcast with Don Rebel happens 4 times a week. Visit with some of the WPIAL's best players in the Player of the Week podcast. Some of the district's top coaches are featured in the Team of the Week podcast. A weekly preview podcast looks at some of the best matchups in the WPIAL. And finally, a Friday night recap podcast with scores and statistical highlights. Find the Rebel Yell podcast on hssn.triblive.com.
And now on Spotify.
Do you need custom printed materials for your school or organization? Hosting a fundraiser or special event? PrintSource can help. Visit printpittsburgh.com for a free quote on yard signs or banners, flyers and stickers, invitations, program books and tickets, even yearbooks. We are your single source solution for printed materials, signage, and so much more. Visit us online at printpittsburgh.com. PrintSource. Design, print, deliver.
Hi, I'm Adam Goodnack, and I'm a student in Seton Hill University's Wukich School of Nursing. I did my clinical rounds throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and it strengthened my belief in the path that I chose. I could really feel that I was making an impact. The faculty in my coursework at Seton Hill has prepared me to dive right into my field. I've received personalized support and expert guidance. I'm moving forward as a nurse of tomorrow at Seton Hill University.
You're watching the TribLive High School Sports Network.
Don Rebel back with you. Before we bring Bobby O in, let's bring our esteemed producer, Chris Lackner, into the house here. Got a question for you. Yeah, don't worry about your hair.
Come on,
dude.
man.
Come on. I mean, look, come on. Ease up. Hey, we're on Spotify, as you indicated in that break. We're on Facebook right now, correct?
Yep.
On Twitter.
Yep. X.
Are we on YouTube right now?
It will be uploaded to YouTube after the show.
Okay.
So it'll be anywhere you want after the show.
Check it out, because the first part with me running out of brackets, that's okay, but here's the juicy part. Goodbye, Christopher. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
All right, you take him out, bring Bobby O, and this is what everybody's waiting for. Yeah, I've known Robert for 40 years.
We're going on 41.
41 years?
Yeah.
And the hair has never been uncoiffed.
That's not true.
No, it is true. Trust me. Hey, by the way, boys in the band here, lower your thing a little bit.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
We didn't even call ahead of time. That's amazing.
Let me say 2 things. My hair has a 92.7% success rate. And if you're out there watching, at us, right? Tweet at us. Let us know.
Okay. My hair is like the old I used this line with Bob about a week ago. My hair is like the old United States team tennis playoffs or standings, where you would have 7 teams, and then 2 teams had the X with ceased operations. My hair has ceased operations. So, Robert, shall we start where I started in
yes.
4A boys?
Yes, sir.
All right, 12 teams. Peters, Fox Chapel, Plum, Seneca Valley get the wait. And it's kind of a lengthy wait till October 25th, when they will likely, it's not indicated here in the brackets, but likely be hosting quarterfinal games. The 4 first-round matchups are on Tuesday, October 21st. You have Central Catholic at North Allegheny. Hempfield at Cannon McMillan, Pine Richland at Mount Lebanon, and Woodland Hills at Norwin. What jumps out to you?
Well, I just saw Central Catholic and North Allegheny play in the regular season finale. It was a pretty tight match. So familiar foes, frenemies on that day. The other thing that's jumped out right away is the 12-0-1 of Peters Township trumps the one loss of Fox Chapel, even though Fox Chapel has won 13 straight since they lost to Cannon McMillan. And they are, as you mentioned, the defending champions. So that kind of trumped things out. The bad news for Fox Chapel is that puts them on the same side of the bracket as a really tough Prum team who's getting healthy. The Mustangs have won 8 straight section championships. They've only allowed 6 goals against with goaltender Chase Eber. They have 14 shutouts, 5 straight shutouts as well. So Plum being very, very tough. The Fox Chapel, again, they're just perennially in the playoffs. Eric Ingram, their head coach, 20 years, 20 playoff appearances for them. Rocco DiDomenico. They've got a good goalkeeper in their own right, and Brady Matthews. So that's just a couple of the teams with the bye. Peters Township, by the way, the one tie, as I mentioned, that was with Mount Lebanon. They have Anthony Maiello and Jake Ganas. I apologize. I couldn't read my own writing there, so I'm trying to mess that up. And then Seneca Valley is a very strong team as well. They've got 2 losses, both to Fox Chapel. So they've got Owen Eastgate and Jacob Prex and Chase Good and their goaltender. They've been the section champions 7 of the last 8 years and didn't quite get there this year. So let's look at some other matchups. Mentioned North Allegheny and Central Catholic. It was a really tight match between those two. It's back-to-back appearances for Central Catholic. Their leading goal scorer, Manny Konopak, was kind of injured or at least shaken up in the North Allegheny game. So we'll see if he's available. And he's got pretty good defense. They've got some overtime wins and some shutouts for Manuel Montero. They kind of spread the offense around. Francis Rendiga up there, but Xavier Ziskowski, Justin Stalter, and Elliot Swerzinski defensively really good for North Allegheny. So they're solid on the back line. 5-12, Cannon McMillan and Hempfield. Good story for Hempfield. Their first appearance in the playoffs since 2014. Michael Crow took over that program. Braden Crow, one of their top players. This is a program that had 0 wins in 3 seasons on this build-up, and then 1 win in a 4-year span. And now they're in the playoffs for the first time since 2014. Pine Richland gets in. They have head coach Jordan Wigand, who does double duty because he's also the head coach of the girls team. They take on Mount Lebanon, who I mentioned they did beat or tied with Peters Township. So the 7th seed, they've got Miko Perkovich, Michael Painter, also Grayson Stewart for Mike Gulo. They've got 3 straight wins as well, does Mount Lebanon. And then the final matchup, 6-11, features Norwin. They're a pretty consistent playoff team, champions a few years ago, back in 2023. They've got a good goalkeeper for Scott Shockert and Reed Hoyle, and Tyler Schulteis also on the marks there. Chris Conti is the head coach for Woodland Hills. And I believe Sam Fataki is one of their top players, Don. He's also the place kicker on the football team. So that's your 4A boys.
12 teams, really 4A boys, 4A girls, the only ones with buys. Everything else, pretty nice.
Mostly all symmetrical, too, just a few with extra teams. You mentioned it's a long wait. There's obviously going to be scrimmages scheduled in there for the teams with the buys before they get it, because they're waiting in 10 days almost. 10 days exactly, right? Wednesday to Saturday, 10. Math always not my strong point.
No. The 1 seed, 2 seed conversation in 4A, Peters Township, Fox Chapel, you mentioned Fox Chapel losing to Cannon Mac. Peters beat the Big Macs twice, so maybe the difference in the 1 line and the 2 line. 3A boys, 17 teams, so you get the play-in game. Bell Vernon, Ringgold, a couple of Mon Valley foes meeting at Bell Vernon tomorrow to decide the 16th seed, who will then go on to play the Hampton Talbots, the number 1 seed. You like them sitting at the number 1 spot?
Yeah, I kind of do. Just perusing. Yeah, I'm not good. Moon defending champion. Maybe they had a shot too, but Hampton's had a great year. They're deserving. They're a perennial team too.
They were a 9 seed a year ago.
They're a perennial playoff team. They've got a 6-game winning streak, Don Hampton, and they've only allowed 8 goals. So the resume is pretty good recently and through the entire season that way. So let's delve into it. We'll start with the pigtail game with the old guys. We can use that old terminology, right? Ringgold under Rob Fabian. They've got James Lytle, Isaiah Wilson, and Bell Vernon. They've got a first-year head coach in Tyler Catarino. They've landed Bell, who is injured. If he's back, that would help. But you're in. So you're not going to get a win. You've almost been in a must-win situation anyway to get here. But Hampton, I mentioned Matt McCauley, Xavier Ware is really good on that team, and Gavin Gwynn, Mason Hall as well. I don't have much of a problem with that, although Bethel Park ended up with just 1 loss but 3 ties. So for the number 2 seed, that might have hurt them a little bit. They've got Youssef Ben Rabia, Xavier Jackson, who was all WPIAL. They lost. Their only loss came in the opening game of the season for Bethel Park. They lost to Peters Township. So all wins and 3 ties. Since then, their opponent will be Knock, who did not qualify last year. They've got Malcolm Cook, who's a London native, so knows a little bit about the beautiful game. Austin Friedline as well for the Knock Knights. We'll stay on that part of the bracket. With Mars, again, a perennial playoff team there under Chris Knopf with Max Davis as the 7. Penn Trafford might have got bumped into the 10 with a loss yesterday to Latrobe, which took them from 2nd place in Section 3 to 3rd place in Section 3 for Ryan Hankey's team. They feature Cooper Geyer and Noah Haslam. So that's the importance of maybe losing your last section game right there. Franklin's a pretty good team as well. They were a runner-up last year to Moon. 7 of 8 wins for Nick White, 8 shutouts as well with Aiden Alexander. They've got Michael Hillbrand back from injury. That certainly helps the Panthers. Fabrizio Costa had a hat trick yesterday, Cruz Lamana. So that's pretty good team right there taking on Montour, who beats Moon in the regular season in overtime. So that's a quality victory for Montour. So don't overlook them, even though they're a 14th seed with Mario Pissarro and Jake Walker as well. Then Char Valley and Trinity. Trinity gets in, right? They needed a win yesterday, one of the teams that got in. Right. But they did. Cooper Rayner and then Colin Rayner and Cooper Cincinnati, who I believe his brother was a great player, one of their top players back in the day. So they get in. They'll be the 11-6. And for Chartiers Valley, their opponent, they're on my sheet somewhere. What section is Char Valley in, Don?
Char Valley is in Section 4. Runners up to Moon.
Oh, there they are, right there, right the last place they look, right there. So Bill Douglas, this is a team, both teams actually for Char Valley in the playoffs. And they didn't have the home field was under construction, so they've got that back. They were the 14th seed last year, and thank you for pointing to this. But they upset Indiana over the number 3 seed, then lost to Mars. They've got Vinny DiPietro and Luke Waldron. So let's flip to the other side. The Shaler Titans, a pretty good story getting into the playoffs. Once again, taking on Thomas Jefferson for TJ. That's a team that is also a 1-loss team with 12 wins, 1 loss. And that's Bethel Park's record, excuse me. But they've got Sam Wessel in goal for TJ, who's all WPL. Owen Halsolder, I believe he scored a hat trick just recently as well. And Gavin Kern. The 5-12 matchups, the 6-11, 7-10, and 8-9 have all become really good matchups moving on to this tournament. Used to always talk about the 8-9 being the good matchup. Right. But those all, I think, are almost pick-em games. And Tyler Scholes, by the way, in his 5th year, has Alex Catano, who's the place kicker on the football team for Shaler, and Anthony Tylenda, whose sister was a really good player, I believe at Kentucky for his sister. Moon is the defending champion. 25-1 last year, not so much. They were champs back in 22 as well. Then they were state runners-up to Radnor, but they've got Hayden Quinn, Eric Hopps, and Mauricio de Souza. There's a good name for you. They'll take on Laurel Highlands without his guy, with Cole Radcliffe, who is their all-time leading goal scorer, 36 goals. So he's a big part of that team. And then the final matchup is the 8-9 matchup. Latrobe under Jake Rice, section champions last year, which was their first ever section championship. Second place this year, courtesy of the victory over Peters Township. They've got John Massaro and Nolan Thomas. And their opponent is West Allegheny for Scott Zemba. They've got midfielder Aaron Bush. I believe he scored a goal or two yesterday, and Jensen Wolf. So that is your look at boys 3A.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, okay, well, Bell Vernon, Ringgold, first of all, how are they not in the same section? Playing in the preliminary round matchup. Why is that game at the beach? Well, they did play in a non-section match earlier this year with Bell Vernon beating Ringgold in overtime 2-1. So maybe that's the advantage Leopards, and they get to host a preliminary round playoff game.
You know, a lot of times we talk conjecture-wise, right? What the committees look at. Things like that should be taken into advantage, right? So unless the record is so different, right, with one team with maybe under 500 at 4-11, the other team over 500, but you mentioned it right there. That probably gave the Leopards that home field advantage. Didn't think of that too. Neighboring communities, why are they not in the same section?
Yeah. Okay, to Class 2A now, full bracket, 16 teams. One matchup that's kind of intriguing is the 4-13 matchup. If for no other reason, Avonworth hosting McGuffey, we saw that a year ago, and it was the 2-15 matchup. So they just can't get away from each other no matter what side of the bracket they're on. The Antelopes and the Highlanders, one of 8 matchups in Class 2A, where South Park, Quaker Valley, North Catholic, and Avonworth are the top 4 seeds.
A little closer seating-wise between McGuffey and Avonworth. We'll start there in the 4-13 matchup. Avonworth is the runners-up coming back from last year, the Antelopes. And McGuffey's usually a pretty good team under Brian Gillespie, Jaden Newton. Stamp Stout is their goalkeeper. He came back from injury, so that has helped them. Before this year, Avonworth had won a couple straight section championships, so not the case this year, but they've got Owen Shearer and Jimmy Quinn. I mentioned the runners-up last year to South Park. Let's stay on that side. South Park, number 1, back-to-back 2A champions, defeated Avonworth 1-0 last year for their first title, John Cantwell. Their only loss in overtime to 3A Moon. So a great job. They were 22-1 last year. So Caden Loveland is their team. Cooper Hoken Donner is a fantastic goalkeeper. Aiden Batista as well. I mentioned they only lost to Moon, defending champions. 17-1, I believe, the record there. So really good stuff. They've got the Southmoreland Scottish. Not only does Southmoreland, you talked about it girls-wise, then you referenced football. They've got a good matchup football-wise, too, with Elizabeth Forward. Not in this sport, just a little sidebar about Friday night.
The American football.
Yes, giving people just a little teaser onto potentially your football talk on Friday night. But the Scotties in this sport under Brad Smith have Jack Smith, and their last appearance before last year was 2020 for Southmoreland. So they've stacked together back-to-back performances. Charleroi lost yesterday. They had beaten Mount Pleasant early in the regular season, so they needed a tie at least to be the section champions. Mount Pleasant beat them. Tim Lasky doing a great job. Blake Pondo, Otis McIntyre. Here's a big note from what happened last night at Mount Pleasant. Dylan Klinger, who is their top goal scorer, 33 goals, and 100 career goals. He got red carded last night, so he will not play in this first round matchup in the 8-9 game against the Beaver Bobcats for Scott Hazuda's team. They've got Anthony Ferda, Shane Good, and Shane Ebbett. So that could swing maybe a little bit in Beaver's favor, although Pendo and McIntyre are pretty up front. And aforementioned Mount Pleasant under Floyd Snyder, their 6th straight playoff appearance, their first section title since 2021. Grant, Zahorsky had the goal yesterday. He's one of their top players. Tyke Snyder, the coach's son, very good player. Lucas Showman. They've got a pretty good center back as well in Damian Oler. Good defensively. They've got 7 straight wins and shutouts in most of those wins as well for the Vikings. So we'll flip over to the other part of the bracket for Quaker Valley, the 2, Highlands, the 15. Highlands, they've got Ryan Maloney, who's over 50 career goals. This first appearance for Highlands since 2014. So congratulations on getting into the playoffs for the Golden Rams of Quaker Valley. They're a perennial team that gets in the playoffs. They won a section championship, their 30th section championship all time. So that shows you how Highlands hasn't made the playoffs in a while, and Quaker Valley is just stacking section championships under Sean Ryland. Their defense, really good. They've got 96 goals for, 11 goals against. Goalkeeper Alexander Vesio is in the net. Sutton Hole, and Isaac Williams as well for Quaker Valley. Seton and Shady Side. Seton under former player Nick Balzer. They've got Tyler and Tommy Kowalczyk. They were a semifinalist a couple years ago in 2023. They lost to Burrell last year in the quarterfinals, did Seton LaSalle. Darius Norkovicus is one of their team's top players. And for Shady Side Academy under Ed Ellsworth, Mark Bentz, who scored a hat trick yesterday, and Manik Gerhardy leading the Bulldogs in that one. North Catholic put together a pretty good season. Just 2 losses under Scott Schlegel, Angelo Emilio, Arthur Mendonca, Jackson Schlegel, Justin Garvey, some of the players leading North Catholic. And the Yacht Cougars under Ron Dushak, Isaac Pakacha, and Noah Jersevich, a couple of players who lead the Yacht Cougars into that match as well. And then Deer Lakes, Central Valley, a little bit of a long trip for Central Valley to get there. But Deer Lakes under Aaron Smith, they were semifinalists last year. They were champions in 2022. So this year's senior class, they were all involved in that 2022 championship. They're pretty good defensively. Peyton Cushon, Colin Rogers, seems like he's been there forever. Jacob Orsino and Kyler Krim. They've also won a WPIAL championship, the Deer Lakes, back in 2020. So they've got some history as far as getting to the championships. And Central Valley, their opponent under Jack Shearer. It's a family affair for Coach Sarah because his dad, Pete, is an assistant coach for the Warriors, and his brother, Owen, is a player on the team. So you could just call the name Shearer out. You'd get it right most of the time for Central Valley. So 15-2-1, by the way. Just want to throw that in there for Beaver with a win and a tie. So pretty good record there. But that is your look at Boys 2A.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant, the big win over Charleroi, but it's not enough to get them a top 4 spot. Now, again, when there's no
last
buys,
year, Don, Charleroi won the section championship. They were also the 5 seed.
Yeah. So, read into those tea leaves the way you want. But without a bye, it's not that big of a deal because if they both win, Mount Pleasant at 5 will take on Avonworth at 4. So even if they were flip-flop, they're going to play each other in the quarterfinals if they take care of business in round 1. 2A, we talked about South Park going for a 3rd straight championship. That is the case in Class A as well. Bentworth, the number 1 seed, going for a 3rd straight district title. All up and down the 4 classifications in boys soccer, there are only 2 teams without a loss and without a tie, and they're both in Class A, Robert.
Got that note. 17 up, 17 down for Bentworth. A fantastic program. You mentioned it. Back-to-back titles, so trying for number 3. They defeated Olsh last year in penalty kicks, I believe, at 1-2, 5-4 in penalty kicks. And Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on cue. They're the other team that's undefeated at 14-0, last year's runner-up. So let's break into the brackets it's very hard to three-peat, by the way. So give credit to South Park and Bentworth for getting an opportunity. Bentworth as the top seed. They've got Ryan Messner, who's just really fantastic, over 100 career goals. He's got younger brother Adam for Nick Malarby, Caden Hackinson as well for Bentworth. They scored 128 goals last year. They're near that. They were the state runners-up as well, Lancaster Mennonite. And again, they're stout defensively, and they've got a pretty good weapons up front, led by 3-time All-WPIAL Ryan Messner. They get Brentwood, who was a team that was battling yesterday with Bishop Canavan to get into the playoffs, but Mike Barker's Spartans are in with Evan Mingle and Sam Malual. That's your 116. Beth Center 8 and Eden Christian 9 for the Bulldogs under Gary Amos, Dakota Bundy, Parker Amos, who's all WPIAL, third straight playoff appearance for Beth Center. They'll get a chance at Eden Christian under Jason Rice, and they've certainly got a good perennial playoff team going on with Spencer Rigby and under head coach John Barr. So I like that 8-9 matchup. Tough, though. Bentworth is really a favorite, in my opinion. Although Beaver County Christian could have something to do with that, should they get past Shore Houston. But the Eagles are in the playoffs under Chris Creffield for the third straight year. And pretty good, just one loss and just a couple of goals allowed on the season. Ken Wilsey, Ben Creffield also on that team, and Zach Stevens as well. For the Eagles, they were semifinalists last year, so they've got a pretty good program. And they get the Shore Houston Buccaneers with Ashton Kennedy and Jerson Cruz under head coach Nathan Dennis, and that's the 4-13 matchup. And again, wouldn't be surprised if you can get the Eagles and the Bearcats out of there. The Springdale is a very good opponent for Mario Liberati. For Neshannock, who's a good story, Alex Willie and Nason Matty for the Dynamos. So if it gets a 5-4 matchup in round 2, that's a good matchup between Springdale and Beaver County Christian. On the other side, Neshannock, it's been a while for Neshannock. Their first playoff appearance since 2011 under head coach Dustin Alt. 5 goals in the clincher for they've got Zayden Herb, by the way, who potentially is one of the top goal scorers all time up in Lawrence County. He's over 100 career goals for Neshannock. Talked about Olsh and head coach Brandon Scott. They've only allowed 8 goals all season, 14-0. They were runners-up again last year to penalty kicks. They've got Owen Minzer, who's all WPIAL, Brady Hernandez, who popped in a hat trick yesterday, as well as Matt Walsh for the Chargers. They'll get Greensburg Central Catholic in the first round. Grant Brewer is one of the top players for John Dobrinski's team. 7-10 gets us Sewickley Academy and the Trinity Christian Falcons under Ben Cost, Judah Schaefer, Cameron Wright, Travis Felician, also taking the field and starring for Trinity Christian. And Aiden Shattuck is one of the top players for Joel Stort's Sewickley Academy Panthers. Luca Peluso, they lost to Neshannock in the regular season. Big win there for Neshannock to help them get into the playoffs for the first time since 2011. Finn Wentz, by the way, all WPIAL player, suits up for Sewickley Academy. Then Aquinas and Riverview, the last one to look at. That's the 6-11 matchup. Matt Anselmino's got his son Marco and his brother Lorenzo. So much like Central Valley, it's a family affair for Aquinas Academy as the 6. And Riverview under Mickey Namey, 2 straight appearances. They hadn't made the playoffs before last year since 2019. They've got Eben and Leon Ulrich, but they're injured, but they came back. So they're at full health. That will help Riverview. Riverview last year, they're opposite of Beaver County Christian. They lost 2-0 last year as a 13th seed to Beaver County Christian. So if they want that rematch, they've got work to do as the 11. That has to happen in the finals. But that is your look at 1A.
You began that breakdown, thorough breakdown, with the astute statement that it is hard to three-peat. And we have 2 teams, South Park and Bentworth, trying to win a 3rd straight. Got a factoid for you, Robert.
Throw it. Playoff factoids are tasty and delicious.
They are, and they're low fat. There's another little factoid for you. Since 2000, so now it's 25 years, there have been 17 WPIAL boys soccer teams that have won back-to-back championships. None of them have been able to win a 3rd straight. The last WPIAL boys soccer team to win 3 in a row, you got to go back almost 35 years. Quaker Valley, 1991, 1992, 1993. Sort of, those years sound almost familiar if you're a Bucco fan.
You had it, although Quakerville was able to win some championships.
Whoa,
not to open old wounds, but that wound, it's never going to heal.
No.
But yeah, I had that note as well. 1991. So that's how difficult it is.
Yeah.
To repeat. That's why it's impressive that South Park and Bentworth have a chance to do this. Now we'll see, obviously, in the next 2.5 to 3 weeks if that happens. But it's a very good feat if either the Eagles or the Bearcats can do that.
Rare air indeed. All right, let's flip over to the girls' side. We appreciate the folks who have been waiting to hear us break down or hear Bobby break down the girls' postseason. It's the WPIAL playoff soccer playoff pairing show here on the TribLive High School Sports Network. Girls 4A, same as boys, 12 teams, 4 first-round byes, and
same as boys, Peters Township, your top seed.
Peters Township at 1, Seneca Valley, the Section 3 champs at 2, Norwin, the Section 1 champs at 3, and Pine Richland, the runners-up in Section 3, get the number 4 seed, and they all come with first-round byes. They don't have to play until Thursday, October 23rd, as they await the winners of the 4 teams that you will discuss now, the 4 matchups.
Yes, we have this one seeding correct as far as girls 4A, Peters Township. Not only number one, defending champs under longtime head coach Pat Verb. They were runners-up back in 22. Their title last year was their 3rd all-time and their 1st since 2012. They defeated Seneca Valley in the 1-2 matchup last year in a shootout. But Peters Township has Fallon Malley, who is committed to Duquesne University. Goalkeeper Molly Kubistek, who's been around forever. She's a Cincinnati recruit. Emery Van Akron, one of their leaders, with Kaylin Martin on the back line, Julia Spurgell as well. So they're kind of good. They have been. So deserving number 1 seed. Deserving number 2 for Seneca Valley as well under Mark Perry. 15 straight appearances for last year's runner-up. Carly Majeski is a James Madison recruit, and Chloe Leonard is headed to Pitt Johnstown. If you're looking for a factoid, if you're a Raiders fan, they've been in the semifinals 5 of the last 7 years. So we'll see if that continues. Norman is section champ at number 3 under second-year head coach Ashley DeVito. Their first outright section title this season since 2019. Back-to-back appearances now for Norman before not qualifying for last year, the first time in 3 years. Sienna Ali, Nicole Bone, 13 straight wins as well for the Norwin Knights. So they are playing their best and most consistent soccer at the right time. And Pine Richland, a really good number 2 seed too. I mentioned Jordan Wigan. The Wigan is the head coach of both teams. 41 goals for the Rams, 4 goals against. Lily Rosenwasser, the juniors, and Eastern Michigan recruits. Shea Best, fantastic goalie, and Emmy Klein will be Molly Kubistek's teammate at Cincinnati once they get there. You're looking at rematches. You could get one right there. North Allegheny and Pine Richland, section foes. The Tigers are also very good defensively. A very deep team as well. Kieran Shannon up front kind of leads the way. Jordan Beamer in goal, a really good defense, which is led by Ava Hutter, who is a LaSalle recruit for North Allegheny. So you could get a rematch there. Armstrong, the number 12 seed, slots in opposite of the Tigers with Colby Owen as the head coach and Callie Atkins as one of their top players. Could also get a rematch in the 8-9 matchup if Kenny McMillan wins because they're section mates with Peters Township. Rachel Tomley for the Big Macs is a Youngstown State recruit. They were in the semifinals. And Rachel Tomley also on the 2 times on the national youth team for the United States. They were semifinalists 2 years ago, were the Big Macs under Matt Finagi. And Latrobe, again, depth is a problem for Jamie Morrison Campbell. So they need health, but they've also got a Division I recruit in Annalise Bauer, who's the all-time leading goal scorer. She's an Eastern Michigan recruit, and also Emerson Shine for the Wildcats. Other side of the bracket, Upper St. Clair and Penn Trafford. That is the 7-10 matchup for the Panthers and Zach Hamilton. Maybe a disappointing year because they've got tons of talent. They've got Natalie DeSora, who's going to Wake Forest. Cam Friday in goal is going to Tampa. Sierra Dupre is going to Clemson. Abby Mascaro is headed to Delaware, and her sister Mary is going to Kent State. That's a 7 seed with all those college players. So beware Penn Trafford and Jimmy Mastriani. Hey, hi there.
That's kind of amazing, isn't it? I mean, you know.
I wasn't finished yet.
Oh, okay. But it is kind of amazing, all those
you got
Division I players. Yeah.
5 college players going there. Penn Trafford is Ellie Leby. Emmy Oslowski helped them during the regular season. But can you flick that bracket back up there for me? Emmy Oslowski transferred from Penn Trafford with her sister to the Kiski School, and they transferred back. So they're not eligible for the playoffs, but they also have Anna Coy and Elena Hall. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had the last matchup, 6-11, between Mount Lebanon and Butler up there. So you can take that off if you want. But Seth Young. This is why the brackets are up there better when I'm struggling. Becca Bronsdorf. Mount Lebanon's got a win over Norman last year in the playoffs in PKs and then lost in overtime. So you're that close if you're the Blue Devils. Last year, they were semifinalists 2 years ago. And they've got the Butler team against head coach Dan Buzzard. They've got 2 players, junior Lucia Leland, who's been around for a while, playing since she was a freshman, I believe, and Cecilia Wolford, who is, I think she's a senior, but she's been around as well for the Butler Golden Tornadoes. So that is your look at girls 4A.
All right. As producer Chris Lackner is in Bobby O's doghouse now, we'll hope to rectify that over these next 3 brackets.
See, the less screen time of this, the more brackets, the better off things are.
I say that all the time. I wish I had brackets just during the scoreboard show. I mean, then
we could be Chris bracket. He's got the big time lettuce going on.
Yeah, but he's all worried about it, all concerned. Bring him in. He's like, yeah.
We kid because we care, Chris.
Okay, we'll go with that. We mentioned the boys, 2 teams trying to win a 3rd straight championship and how difficult that is on the boys' side. Not as difficult on the girls' side as South Fayette, as we swing to 3A, is trying to win a 3rd straight championship. They are the number 2 seed. It has happened 4 times in Class 2A alone. This is 3A we're talking about, but Sewickley Academy from 2002 to 2004, South Park from 06 to 08, Mars from 2010 to 2012, and Avonworth recently, 2021 to 2023. Then in speaking of Mars, they did it again as a 3A school, 2019 to 2021. That's what South Fayette's trying to accomplish.
Could have Moon in that picture, but they keep fluctuating between 3A and 4A on the girls' side. But yeah, South Fayette, Nick Rosser's team, how about getting hot, right? They started 0-1-1, did South Fayette, even though they're the 2 seed, they won 14 straight. And I like this Fox Chapel team, 11-0-1 with a tie versus Norwin. So I don't disagree with the seeds. You're splitting hairs sometimes when you're looking at 2 and 3. Moon, we'll talk about in a second, 3, and Plum 4. Those are very good top 4 seeds, by the way. So we'll start with the number 1 Fox Chapel Foxes under Carlo Prati. They lost NA, one of their only losses this year. They were last year's runner-up with Emily McKee, who is a future Pitt Panther. They lost 4-0 to Fox Chapel, with Fox Chapel last year being the number 1 seed. So they're the number 1 seed once again. 2nd straight year that South Fayette is a 2 seed. Laurel Highlands with Morgan Ferris and Adriana Walker. They're making their 3rd straight appearance, taking on Fox Chapel. We'll stay on that side. We'll get back to South Fayette in a second. The TJ and West Allegheny in the 8-9. Sean Richter got Sam Magliacco. They lost in double overtime last year, did Thomas Jefferson. Opposites, they don't have no Bethel Park this year. They lost to Bethel Park in the 1st round as well with Kayla Marcinko. And West Allegheny checks in under Chris Chiodo with Mia McCarthy and Madison Pons in the 8-9 matchup. Plum, fantastic. Lost in the semifinals last year to Fox Chapel. They've got a long, I believe it's 38 games. They haven't lost a section game in that amount of time. So I think it's 39 now for Jamie Storton. Emily Grubich, great. Gianna Ravetta, Olivia Bigger, and a fantastic goaltender, McKenna Smith, who is also the goalkeeper on the lacrosse team. So it's a tough task for Char Valley, but they're a good story. Mention it with the boys. Dave Zinski's a third-year head coach, getting their facility back. This team had one win a few years ago. This is the first appearance since 2017 with a freshman leading the way, Lena Anthony. I like stories like that when teams slowly build back up, although they may have an issue because Kennedy Kuntz is one of their top players, and she may be lost with an ACL. Mars and Blair Gerlach, semifinalists back in 2023. Normally a team we're always talking about at this time of the year. They've got Jade Breeze and Addison Orhowski, who's going to Robert Morris. Also Miley Gratton and Chase Carsman as well for Moon. They'll take on a Kiski area team. Kiski area for head coach Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson is led by Ellie Arnold and Addison Bell. Now we'll flip over to South Fayette. Mentioned 0-1-1 start, 14 straight. Mia DeRamo, Sylvie Rossi, senior goaltender Caitlin Thompson, Gary Beneke as well for South Fayette. So interesting. They're used, obviously, to being a 2 seed. They won it last year from that slot. So maybe comfort and familiarity with that situation. Against Elizabeth Forward, Leilana Spini, Macy Smith. I will lose a couple of the players that will line up for the Warriors. Montour and Hampton in the 7-10. Hampton making it on both sides of the ledger. Montour under Alex Hobbs. Here's another family affair. Alex Hobbs, the head coach, Island Hobbs, Kira Hobbs on the team for Montour. So I'd like to see that family thread going through things like that. At Hampton, 10th straight playoff appearance. They've got a new coach this year, Chris Carafa, but they haven't had a playoff win, Hampton, since 2021. So they will be looking to turn that around in the 10-7 matchup. Moon, the 3 seed, they're always there. Bill Pfeiffer, great head coach. Runners up back in 2023, 12 straight wins. Kendall Didek, Anna Palm, and Alexandra D'Alessio, a couple of the Tigers that will face Oakland Catholic under head coach Emily Peduto with Aviana Gibbs and Kaylin Kelly. 11 straight appearances now in the postseason for Oakland Catholic. Final matchup, pretty good Franklin Regional team under Scott Arnold. They've got 6 straight shutouts. They've won 11 of 12, only lost in that stretch to Plum. Alyssa Velasquez at the front line, Reese Rogelski. And shout out to Addie Ayers, who is going to Allegheny to play soccer. 12 shutouts for Addie, which is a new single season record at Franklin Regional. Their opponents will be Shaler. Last year, they were the story. They made the playoffs for the first time in 37 years. Now it's 2 straight for Gabrielle Cald. They've got a pretty good forward as well in junior, Nadia Zotter. And that is your look at 3A girls soccer.
Halfway through the girls breakdown, Don Rebel, Bob Orkwis, 2A girls soccer. The number 1 seed, South Park, September 15th of this year, just a little over a month ago. Something strange happened. Something
they gave up a goal
really out of the norm. The only section goal allowed, a 9-1 victory over McGuffey. In their 12 games against Section 1 opponents, South Park outscored their opponents 79-1.
How about let's add on to that, Don? They're plus 90. 93 goals for, 3 goals against on the season. 17-0 with 14 shutouts, including 7 straight.
Good or bad?
Dude, that's the most staunch defense we can talk about.
That's pretty good.
Gianna Cardillo, the goalkeeper as well, was a big part of that. We'll talk about the number 1 seed when we flip up the brackets, but a deserving number 1 seed for TJ O'Brien. Those numbers say it all. Semifinalist 2 years ago, but a deserving number 1 seed there. You can flip the brackets up, if you will. So Yock, they've got a tough task for Bob Broadwater, Gianna Pionka, Daisy Miller, and they've got a senior goalkeeper as well, and Carly Fitzgibbons. But that is a really tough task. 3 goals in 17 matches allowed. So That's really fantastic stuff for your top seed. 8-9, a little bit tighter than that. Bell Vernon getting in on both sides, even though it's a playing game for the boys. And Burrell for BVA under Tracy Lovett. Abby Russell, Allie Watson. You see a theme here. So if Bell Vernon gets past Burrell, Bell Vernon has 6 straight shutout wins. So South Park wins over York. Bell Vernon gets Burrell. Could have 17 overtimes and a scoreless tie, maybe. Let's hope not, but good defense on both of those sides. Bell Vernon the 9, Burrell the 8 under Frank Nesco, Micaiah Buchak, McKenna Miller. 2 straight years that they've made it into the playoffs for the Burrell Buccaneers. Mount Pleasant, very good program. Talked about the boys' side who won their first section title since 21. 4 straight section titles for Rich Garland and Mount Pleasant. They've got, you think, Plum's section win. They've got 39, Mount Pleasant, 39 straight section wins. Laurel Ramos, their goalkeeper, her brother plays on the boys' team. And Morgan Gasinski, who was a Robert Morris recruit, is at the top of the front line for Mount Pleasant. The 13th seed is their opponent, and that is Avonworth under J.C. Mahan. They had 3 straight titles snapped, 21, 22, 23, 3 straight appearances in the title game snapped last year. Burrell, by the way, was last year's runner-up to Quaker Valley. Nora Sullivan and Grace Sosnack leading the way for the Antelopes. Deer Lake's always a perennial playoff team and always a pretty good opponent. Frank Aceta, their head coach, Brooke and Claire Kokorak, Cadence Drum for the Lancers, Tessa Hollaball, Bree Seminetti as well. Seminetti leading the way. The Shadyside Academy, interesting to see Shadyside checking in as a 12 seed. But under Mary Lynch, they're a perennial playoff team. They've got a Division I recruit. Is their goalkeeper, Maria Ravati, is a Providence recruit. Sarah Kushner had a goal the other day. They were runners-up 2 years ago. Last year, they lost to Beaver in the first round. Freeport Ringgold, the other side of the bracket. The Freeport Yellow Jackets, the number 2 seed, 13 straight playoff appearances, 13 straight wins, coincidentally, for Freeport and Steve Kukic. They only lost, by the way, to Butler before the 13 straight wins. Peyton Lose is going to Slippery Rock. They've got Cameron Woods as well, senior goalkeeper, and Alyssa Alcorn. And 3 straight section titles now for the Yellow Jackets. Their opponent is the Ringgold Rams as the number 15 seed. Ringgold with Ed Rosensteel in his second year features Imani Arnold. 7-10 matchup is a good one. DJ Sharpless got his daughter Simone there for North Catholic. They were semifinalists last year. DJ in his second year as the head coach. Simone is actually headed to Western Michigan University. And Beaver under Nick Crivelli, they were losers last year in the quarterfinals too. North Catholic. So, excuse me. So you had a rematch in the first round for the Bobcats, who have a senior goalkeeper in Kaylee Coops, and also Mia Ferda, her brother, also playing on the boys' team. Quaker Valley, defending champs, state semifinalist last year for Quaker Valley. Sorry, to hydrate. That's a key tip, right? Hydrate.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Quaker Valley, Southmoreland, Maggie Behan and Rachel Loudermuck still, I believe, co-head coaches. Annabelle Miko is one of the top goal scorers, maybe all time, but they've got a pretty good defense as well, Quaker Valley. 2 goals allowed, 12-0-1 streak. I believe 57-4 is the total. So Ava Hayjock in goal. Kudos to her for the Quakers, and their opponent will be Southmoreland, the Scotties, under Josh Pajak. They feature Hannah Kahn and Megan Mihal. And the last matchup, 6-12, Central Valley, Keystone Oaks. Keystone Oaks has the 12 seed under Steve Pons. They've got Allie Simon, a really good player, and Maddie Arment. And for Central Valley, under Drew Bowman. They lost last year to South Park, so to get that rematch, they would have to run the table. But this year, for the Central Valley Warriors, they've got Aubrey Grader as a forward. She's got over 50 career goals. She's a Slippery Rock recruit. They've also had a pair of sisters in Nina and Gia Guandolo. That is your look at, with Bob needing to drink in the middle, a look at girls 2A.
Yeah, it's funny, especially during the scoreboard show. I'll do the same thing where you're just going, and then you time out. Hold on,
I need one of those tasty, throat moistening factoids, right? There's a plus for a tasty playoff factoid, right?
They always help. They always help. One more classification to break down. I want to give a shout out. Chris Keller, head coach at the Freedom Bulldogs girls soccer team. Not that long ago, they were hoisting gold in 22 and 23, but they're going to have their hands full as a 15th seed as Bobby O breaks down the Class A girls.
So 15-2. We'll start on that side of the bracket with another good Bentworth. Something in the water up there in Washington County. Tyler Hamstra, who scored over 150 goals in his career. But Bentworth is a 2. They've got back-to-back section championships. They've got a loss. I believe their only loss to Southmoreland. Madeline Johns, Megan Katarakis, Brielle Dillon, and Bella Moyer presenting the task for the Freedom Bulldogs and Coach Keller. You mentioned the 22 and 23 champs, Brian Castro and Sophia Bruce, suiting up for the Bulldogs. Aquinas and Olsz, 7-10 matchup. It was a pretty good matchup. Matt Stalder, the head coach, Bella Guillen, and Tess Stewart. Both of those, they've been around. They're multi-sport athletes, and the brothers, the same at Aquinas Academy. So pretty athletic families for those two. And Paige Petroville, I believe it was 2021 that Our Lady of the Sacred Heart was in the championship with Coach Petroville. But they've got Gabby Kim, as well as Maribel Medwig and Olivia Taylor, who I believe is a 4-year starter for the Chargers. Excuse me again. Seton LaSalle with TJ Cherry, semifinalists last year. So they are the 3 seed this year with Kennedy Bakota, Sydney Morgan, Tori Carter. For the Rebels, they'll take on Brownsville, who's got a fantastic freshman, Gloria Kovsak, who is, I still believe, the top goal scorer in the WPIAL. She's got over 30 goals as a freshman for Rachel Morrison. Another freshman lines up there, Addie Brown, and a third freshman. How about that for youth being served for Brownsville? The third freshman is Ellie Haddad. So youth is served, so present and future for Brownsville, the number 14 seed. Winchester Thurston as the 6, last year's runner-up, losing 5-3 to Springdale in the championship game for Jason Snyder. Avi Keller and Iris Jaron, who's a freshman and pretty good goal scorer, suit up for the Bears. And then Waynesburg under Terry Clutter, they've got Riley and Colby Ostoka, 2 of their top players. Emily Rafferty, they've got a senior goalkeeper as well, and Peyton Cowell for Waynesburg. Flip to the other side of the bracket, Sewickley Academy. Gary Weber in his first year, a top seed. Only loss to Sewickley Academy to 2A Quaker Valley. They've got 13 straight wins, the Panthers do. Marin Edmonds, Emma Inarino, she's been fantastic, I believe, since her freshman year for Sewickley Academy. So they get the bye. So they'll get to sit around and watch and scout Eden Christian and Carleton. Alex Davis, the head coach for the Warriors. Alex Nacy, Violet McKinney, and defender Allie Emsweiler, who's a Lipscomb commute for Eden Christian. This is the 3rd straight appearance for the Warriors and their opponent, Carleton, with Riley Morrow and Gigi Choate in the 8-9 matchup. Mentioned Springdale, defending champs, state runners-up as well last year for the Dynamos. Adele Walters-Vrabel, Haley Marcheski, and Lacey Shondeck. They've been around, names that certainly familiar for Springdale. And their opponent will be Robert Acor's Chartiers Houston Buccaneers, Grace Littlecott, Amelia Brose for Chartiers Valley. I'll get to the Pigtail game last. One more in bracket matchup. So no bye. I apologize for that. Forgot to look at the bracket. So Sewickley does have an opponent coming up. So let me reset that before we get there. Riverside under Jordan Curcio gets in the playoffs. And they'll take on Riverview. Set a great program, runners up back in 2023. Jessica Garland is there now. They've had some players graduate, but they still have Mary Quinlan and Hannah Hudak, Juliet Brunn, and Matty Martino back in goal. And the 16-17, GCC, been there and done that there, a perennial playoff team under Tom Kennedy. How perennial, you may ask? 28 straight appearances for Greensburg Central Catholic. They've got Alicia Willett, also Jayla Peterson, who was going to W&J to play hoops. And for Ellis and Amanda back in Banichowski, their head coach, they've got Marley Irvin. So apologize for that. They will host Greensburg Central Catholic. The winner of that one gets Swickley Academy on Tuesday, the 21st.
And that is your Class A preview. Ladies and gentlemen, rousing hand for Bob Orkwis. There it is.
Oh, I like it. My only fan, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Look at how happy he is. Good stuff. Great insight. I mean, Bob's a gem when it comes to shows like this, and he'll be joining me on Friday, our second fall playoff pairing show before all the football, week 8, around the same time. Fingers crossed. 1 o'clock, the WPIAL girls volleyball playoff pairing show. He'll only have 4 brackets to talk about, so hopefully he's not as thirsty afterward. Great job, Robert.
I'm always thirsty for WPIAL playoff action. But sometimes you got to have this, right? Got to hydrate. Right. Got to hydrate, folks.
No doubt.
Kids, hydrate. Hydrate throughout the playoffs.
Great advice. Thanks to our producer, Chris Lackner. Great job by Bob Orkwis. Again, he'll join me on Friday as well. I'm Don Rebel. We hope you enjoyed it. The WPIAL soccer playoffs, the 2 preliminary round games, 1 boys, 1 girls, set for tomorrow, Thursday. First round action this upcoming Saturday, next Monday, next Tuesday, and then into the quarterfinals, and then the championships on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's the 30th, 31st, and 1st, I believe.
You are correct.
At Highmark Stadium in Station Square. So for Chris, for Bobby, I'm Don. Thank you for joining us. The WPIAL Soccer Playoff Pairing Show here on the TribLive High School Sports Network.